Hello, my name is Frank Christensen and I'm the coordinator of officials for IFAF Europe. This is the first of 2 training tapes dealing with the personal foul horse collar tackle. And today we're going to focus on the type where the tackle is actually made. So we're going to look at some examples of when it's a foul and when it is not a foul. But before we get there, let's have a look at what the rulebook and the MOFO have to say about this. In the rulebook, we go to Rule 9.1.15 dealing with horse collar tackle. All players are prohibited from grabbing the inside back collar of the shoulder pad or jersey, the nameplate area of the jersey or above, or the inside collar of the side of the shoulder pad or jersey, and pulling the ball carrier or simulated ball carrier toward the ground. This does not apply to a ball carrier, including a potential forward passer who is inside the tackle box. Note that the tackle box disintegrates when the ball leaves it. And then there is an extra note that goes on to say it is not necessary for a player to pull the opponent completely to the ground in order for the act to be illegal. If the opponent's knees are buckled by the action, it is a foul even if he is not pulled completely to the ground. And in the MOFO, we go to section 3.3 dealing at number 15 deals with horse collar tackle. A. The 2 requirements for this to be called are that 1. The defender grabs the collar or nameplate area, and 2. The ball carrier is pulled towards the ground. B. As with other safety related fouls, if in doubt as to whether it is a foul or not, call it. And finally C. However, just grabbing another part of the jersey and pulling a ball carrier down is not a foul. And that was the theory. Now let's have a look at some game film. First, we're going to look at some plays where horse collar tackle either was called correctly or should have been called. And we'll be looking at both factors. We'll be looking at grabbing the collar and pulling down. So in this case, we certainly have the grabbing of the collar or jersey around the nameplate area, and he gets pulled down. So both factors are in effect here, and this should be called. On this play, we're in the backfield, but it's the same rule that applies. So we've got a few things to look at. The ball snapped in position 5. He is now the runner is now well outside of the tackle box. He gets grabbed in the collar, or at least in the nameplate area, and he gets pulled down. This is a clear case of a horse collar tackle. Here's another one that happens in the backfield, and see right there. So again, we're outside the tackle box. He certainly has a grab of this time the shirt, and from here it certainly looks like it's high enough that it is a foul. It doesn't appear to be in the collar itself, but it looks like it's in the nameplate area. And again, when in doubt, this is a foul. Now, who needs to see this? Because it's called by the referee from the back side here, but really this should be the center judge calling this. You could argue that maybe the wing should need to see this also, since he is ultimately in charge of progress, but he may just be shielded off from seeing where the contact actually happens, and I'm fine with the wing here going to a goal line mechanic, leaving it to the backfield officials because they just have a much better angle at this. But again, it certainly is something that the center judge should be calling. In this example, there's no doubt that the runner is outside the tackle box, so we just have 2 things to look at here, and I think it's safe to say that he certainly grabs the collar of the shoulder pad and he's certainly tackled by this action. So this is definitely an illegal horse collar tackle. Now, in terms of we have two flags here. In terms of how we throw these flags, let's make sure that they're overhand, because when you throw the flag underhand like that, it just looks like, from the middle of the field, it would look like a late hit or an unsportsmanlike or something like that. So let's make sure that our flags tell the communication that we want it to tell. Here's another example, and really the principle is the same. We're looking at, did the defender grab the back side of the collar or jersey, and is the receiver pulled down? And here I think it's safe to say that it certainly is grabbed high in the illegal place, and he ends up making the tackle. So those are the only two things that we're looking at. As for position of the officials, sometimes it's tough to follow the receivers and the running backs when they're this fast, and the deep wing certainly does a valiant attempt to stay ahead of the play, even jumps a pylon here and almost steps over the next one. So this is a tough call for him when you get this close to the players. Luckily the back judge gets it. This could also be something for a wing trailing to see, because as a wing you have a perfect angle at right there, so you might be able to help out in this. We have another look, and we'll see how it looks from the end zone. From the end zone, obviously it's a little bit different angle, and it may be a little bit more difficult to see, but we certainly should be able to see enough also from this angle. You see the defender coming in, grabbing high right there, and you see the runner being pulled down, and he's even being pulled down in a manner where you can tell that he's still being held around the collar. So this certainly should be something that we're able to catch. Before we turn our attention towards situations where we shouldn't have a flag, here's one last very interesting situation that just illustrates that it doesn't have to be a runner. Here it's a receiver right after he catches the ball, but again we're looking for two things. Right there he's grabbing the back of the collar, and he gets pulled down. This is correctly called for a horse collar tackle. We're now turning to legal tackles, and of course we'll look at why this is not a horse collar tackle, because it certainly could look like it. The rule says you have to grab from behind. Here it's either from the front or on the side. You can see his shoulder pad exposed there, and he's being pulled down towards the side. So this is actually, even though it looks back, this is a legal tackle. Another example of a legal tackle. So the play is going to be foobarred by the offense, and he's going to get tackled right there. So the ball is spotted on the left hash. So he's still in the tackle box. He's still in the tackle box. Now, I'm not sure that this is actually grabbing the collar or the jersey. I think he's got it. The defender has him around the neck, which in itself is not illegal. But let's just assume that he grabs the collar or the jersey instead. This would still be a legal tackle because we are still in the tackle box. So we don't have, we're looking at those two things that need to be present, but keep in mind that a quarterback in the tackle box is not protected by this rule. In this last example, we're looking at the running back A4 who's going to get tackled by the defensive tackle B55, and we really have both things present. So he's in the tackle box, he's grabbed from behind, and he ends up being pulled down. So outside of the tackle box, this would be a foul. We have both indicators there, but because this happens in the tackle box, it doesn't have to be just the quarterback, it can also be a runner. And I think this is still in the tackle box, so we can let it go here. So basically what we're looking for typically is somewhere, you know, on the outside or down the field where the tackle is made. But I hope this illustrated what's legal and what's illegal. In any case, this was the training tape. I hope you found something you can use on the field.